It's not by coincidence. Their paths crossed. They all were in alignment, right, to get to that same type of place. And so I always tell people, like, you need 3 A's. You have to have your affirmation, right? Like, what is this that we want to, accomplish? Then you're going to have accountability, because that's your other superpower. If you can actually really take responsibility or acknowledge like what's going on, you will outperform like 99% of the people on the planet Earth. And then action.
Welcome, Badass Manifester. I am so glad you are here. I'm your host and head coach, Ashley Gordon, master mindset and manifestation biz expert, founder of the Quantum Coaching certification, and multiple six-figure entrepreneur obsessed with empowering you to create quantum leaps in your energy, your life, and your business. This is the show to help you make magic your everyday normal, where the ripple effect is real and the guest experts are world class. My mission is to power your conscious and subconscious mind with manifestation teachings, business tools, and coaching techniques to put your potential into action. Consider this your weekly up level. Are you ready for quantum transformation? Let's do this. What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the Badass Manifester podcast. Yeah, another week, another amazing episode in front of you. I'm so excited. I think that today is something that you're going to want to maybe take notes on. So if you're driving or listening on the go, like, don't note while you drive, obviously, because today we're talking with Ashley Ann, and Ashley Ann is the guest for today. And she's known as King Ashley Ann. She is a talented business builder. She's a public speaker, and she's a social media strategist. And she has helped over 11,000 individuals monetize their social media, and over 700 people create six-figure incomes. She's helped 151 people create seven-figure incomes, and 9 of her clients are consistently doing $1 million months. And she's helped over 1,000 people generate $25,000 to $45,000 per month using live stream. Okay. So we have an expert today talking all about manifesting your life through social media, and really how to monetize your social media, how to elevate your strategy, and to like really use these platforms that we are given for free and make them work for us. So I'm super excited for you to meet her. Welcome to the show, Ashley.
Thank you so much. I'm excited to be here. Hey, y'all. Hey.
Hey. So I just asked her before we hit live, like, how long have you been in business? And she was like, I've been in business for a really long time. So will you just share your story of like what you started? Did you start the same business that you have now? How has it evolved? Give us a little history.
So I started 16 years ago when I was 21.
Wow.
With a luxury event design and production company. It's Events by Ashley Ann. I still have it. You can go check with like the Secretary of State of Arkansas and all that good stuff. And I don't feel that I have to prove myself to anyone, but I do understand the power and transparency. So I always tell, because we live in this strange time, right? There's all these social media like guru people, and no one ever tells you what they do. They're like, no, just trust me. You know what I mean? Like I live this amazing life. Just trust me. So the event design and production company is where I started. And then about 3 or 4 years after that, I got into business consulting. And so that's how I got into becoming a biz builder. It still took a few years from that for me to narrow down into social media, but my event design and production company is what actually showed me that I'm really good at social media marketing, and more specifically, the monetization part of it. So my colleagues in the event industry would always be asking me questions about like how I was booking clients, how I was able to pick up, especially in Arkansas, like my average price for like a wedding or a milestone event was literally like 10 times, what my other colleagues were. And they were like, how are you doing this? So they would bring me in and I would teach seminars and classes and stuff like that. And basically one day, this guy is there with his wife. His wife is an event planner. He's just there being like a supportive husband. And he's like, well, I don't, he's like, my business is not events, but this information you're giving is really good and I can use it in my business. And he was like, you should really consider, teaching people outside of the event industry. I was like, okay, whatever. I didn't really think too much about it. And then I met this lady. She owned the art gallery. She's pretty cool. We ended up getting to be pretty friendly with one another. And she had a business manager that she was paying $5,000 a month to. And anyway, it gets to the point she's calling me pretty much every day, asking me information, tips, advice, stuff like that. And one day I'm just like, why do you keep calling me? And she's like, well, everything you tell me works. Mm-hmm. So I was like, you're paying somebody $5,000 a month, but you're still calling me. I should be getting paid $5,000.
Right.
And then my confirmation for me always comes in threes. So my third confirmation came when I was just, in my store working. And one of my colleagues, we're actually really good friends now. We've been friends for like over a decade.
You had like a brick and mortar storefront for your company? Okay.
Yeah, brick and mortar. And he comes down and he's talking and he's like, let me run this idea by you. And I gave him kind of like my feedback on it. And he goes, well, you're my unofficial business partner. He's like, I don't do anything unless I talk to you first. And his girlfriend is like, yeah, he's telling the truth. Like, he will not do anything unless he asks you. So that for me was enough. I was like, okay, I need to be consulting, like, clearly. So then we opened up a consulting company. And like I said, it still took me a couple of years to figure out that I needed to focus specifically on like social and digital marketing. Because in my head, I just thought everybody could do it. But then I figured out like everybody cannot just do this stuff. And so that's how all of that started. And then maybe like 7 or 8 years ago, I don't know, time is kind of just starting to like run together. I started doing late night business and I literally just got online to help people because people were getting scammed. So people still scam people with Facebook ads to this day. But the like worldwide campaign was the big thing back in the day. And people would pay people thousands of dollars to run ads for them. And they would basically go by like tier 4, tier 5 traffic, which is really, really cheap. But those are people that are not in your country. They're not going to buy your stuff. They have no interest. But the business owner would start feeling bad because, these marketing companies would say, well, look, you just have a bad product or you just have, a bad offer. Like you need to work on these things because look, we got 10,000 people, to come and follow your page. We got, 3,000 people to engage with your post. It's not us, it's you, but it really was them because the business owner didn't know that, all this traffic was coming from like Cambodia, the Philippines, I don't know, Nicaragua, just places that are not states. Tier 1 traffic is normally like the States, London, Canada, Australia. And
not someone's ideal client.
Yeah, not somebody's ideal client. And so it was like putting them in an impossible situation. So like literally every day I was hearing one of these horror stories and people were burning through their 401ks. They were maxing out credit cards. It was just so much stuff that was happening. And so I was like, I can't help everybody, but I'm just going to get online. I'm going to start teaching for free. And that's what I did. And lo and behold, like I just let it go like kaboom, and it blew up.
Kaboom! I love that.
And I literally like tripled my clientele in 1 year just from like being willing to help people. And to this day, I still try and teach free. Like I can't teach for free every day now because I'm so busy. But
I know.
I still at least a few times a week, you'll see me on Instagram or TikTok. And like once a month, I have trainings on Sundays and I literally I will spend 3 to 5 hours like giving people like the whole blueprint, the whole layout on what they need to be able to like make money in these social media streets.
In these social media streets. Oh, I love it. I love it. Wow. What an inspiring story. I have, a couple things. One, like the fact that you were so open, like usually when someone has a business that's thriving, they're not necessarily looking to start another business. You know what I mean? So you had a brick and mortar for your event company. Like you were like deep in it and you still have the company, which is amazing.
I still have the event design and production company, but I'm phasing out. I'm getting ready to like education just because I want other things. It's time for me to like start having kids and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
Events is fun, but it is
a lot.
it's very labor intensive. It is for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. And then all these signs started coming in. I was just curious because you said my signs come in 3. Were you asking for the signs or you were just paying attention?
I was just paying attention. I feel like one of the best things you can do for yourself in life is be a good student, like try and be a good listener. And so many times people are so obsessed with wanting to be heard or wanting to be right. And there's nothing, I'm not saying go through life and be a doormat. That's not what I'm saying, but I'm just saying like you have to listen and you be open, right? Like you be stubborn about your goal. You know what I'm saying? Whatever it is you want at the end of the day, but you should be very flexible in how it's going to be sent to you. And a lot of times people put these parameters on like what it's supposed to look like. You know what I'm saying? Like what box it's supposed to be in, what color it's supposed to be in, like what channel it's going to come through. No, like forget all of that. Just be open, like say, I know that things are working out for me. I know they're happening for my good. God, give me the ability to hear and to recognize. Like that's the biggest thing. You know what I'm saying? Like
I love that.
Because people get like the universe or angels or God or whoever you believe in, like it's communicating all the time. You just have to be able to listen.
When you were talking about that, what was coming through to me is like listening to life, right? Like to the people that show up, to the radio that's on, to the song that's playing, to the, to the sign that you're passing on the highway. Like all of it is like you're listening for it all. You're listening to life.
That's it. You're just listening. Like, and if you can listen, and then you'll know like, okay, this is my next step, or this is the person, you know what I mean? That I'm supposed to connect to, or this is the place I'm supposed to go. You will find that your life, like honestly becomes like so much easier than, trying to force things to be there that shouldn't be.
That's so powerful. And I would imagine, so listening is a superpower as well. Like I believe, especially in coaching and consulting, which is probably why you're so good at what you do, because you're hearing what people are saying. You're hearing the challenges maybe that they're having, or the problems that they're having, or the wins that they're having, or like things that are working and the things that are not. And you're hearing all of that, you're listening, and then you're able to like come back with a strategy or a plan that will help them,
Is it? Everything is listening. When people are trying to manifest stuff, I think that they forget that you have to be in alignment with whatever you want to get. You know what I'm saying? Like the law of compensation is like very real. You know what I'm saying? Like the law of order is really real. And if you start looking at people, like let's just take like finances for example, right? And so I happen to use social media as a mechanism to help people get financial stability, right? And my goal is to help people make money doing things that they like to do or that they feel like they're called to do. But if we look at people that, let's say people that are, I don't know, multimillionaires, there's going to be some commonalities that are there because that is like those behaviors, right, are in alignment with that thing. So you're going to start noticing like lots of them have real estate. Is there a rule that says you have to have real estate? No, but you're going to notice a lot of them have it. You know what I mean? You'll notice the places that they travel. You'll notice there's a group of people, they're all kind of be successful at one time. And they were like, yeah, I knew them 12 years ago or 17 years ago. We were all struggling. We were all here. We were all there. It's not by coincidence. Their paths crossed. They all were in alignment, right, to get to that same type of place. And so I always tell people like you need 3 A's. You have to have your affirmation, right? Like what is this that we want to, accomplish? Then you're going to have accountability because that's your other superpower. If you can actually like really take responsibility or acknowledge like what's going on, you will outperform like 99% of the people on the planet Earth. And then action.
You know what time it is. It is time to turn your coaching calling into a coaching craft and become a world-class certified quantum coach. Applications are open right now for a very limited time to join us for this next cohort that is going to completely change the trajectory of your business and your life. And I know some of you have heard me talk about QCA over and over and over again, and some of you have just heard it for the first time, or it's like you're hearing it for the first time and you're like, wait, maybe I do want to do this. Maybe this is the right program for me. And that is what our application process is here to help you make that decision on, is applying to the program, getting on a call with myself or my team member so we can help you make the best decision for yourself. The Quantum Coaching Academy has 4 powerful phases of transformation. We teach you all the foundations that you need to be a powerful space holder and know how to ask powerful questions. And we teach you advanced coaching tools as well to help your clients go through deep processes and really deepen their skill set. And we teach you all of the NLP content that you need, neuro-linguistic programming. We equip you with 8 certifications to be world-class at taking your clients through powerful transformations to the point where your testimonials will speak for themselves. It's time to stop coaching from your own personal experience and your own personal development and what you've gone through. We want to teach you how to actually be a powerful coach. And being a powerful coach has nothing to do with your own experience. It's usually your experience that leads you to wanting to become a coach in the first place. You're like, I've gone through this powerful transformation and now I want to help other people go through it. But what got you to your transformation might not be what gets someone else to theirs. And so we have so many beautiful skills and processes and tools and certifications to help give you the confidence that you need to be able to say to someone and look at someone in the face or through Zoom and say, I know I can help you. And to be so confident in your abilities to take someone through true change, lasting change, generational healing. It's so powerful. Our community is so beautiful. It's so strong. And we're waiting for you. We're waiting for you to say yes. And I know it can feel scary. It can bring up so many different things all the way around, but I just want you to be brave enough to apply. Be brave enough to take one step and get yourself one step closer to what you see yourself doing. And I was just having this conversation with my husband. We were talking about how fast life goes by. Life goes by so quickly. And it's like, we don't have time to stress and to worry and to focus on things that are not taking us where we ultimately want to be. We need to really embrace where we are and go for it. We need to go for the things that set our soul on fire, even if it's scary, just by taking one step at a time. So I want to invite you to apply right now. The link is in the show notes or in my Instagram bio at thequantum.coach. Apply now, set up your call, and let's see if this is the right fit for you. And we can't wait to connect to see if you are meant to be a quantum coach.
Right? Because people always I think sometimes, especially with the law of attraction, people think I'm just going to sit here and I'm going to meditate. I'm going to think about it and it's going to come. Well, no, there has to be some type of action to get you in alignment with what it is that you want to attract. You when things manifest is because you're it, you know what I mean? It's already happening in the spiritual realm. And our goal is just to make it appear over here in this physical realm that we're in. And the only way to do that is you have to have those 3 together. You have affirmation, accountability, and action. And you're need to manifest whatever it is that you want to manifest. The first time I had $1 million day, I thought about it. I put it out there.
Wait, $1 million day?
Yeah. So, but then I had to do the actions to get to the $1 million day. You know what I'm saying?
Holy shit. I love that. Think big, yo. Think big, everyone. $1 million day.
That's it. But being around other people that inspire you, help you get there. Because I never even thought about having $1 million day for myself ever until this lady, Super, and she owns the Crayon Case, and she's an amazing businesswoman. And I watched her make $1 million in an hour during Black Friday a few years ago. And I was like, man, my goals are not big enough. I was like, she $1 an hour. Well, let me just see if I can get to $1 million in a day. And that's, I got onto the path that I want to have $1 million day. Right.
Yeah.
And working, my goal now is to have $1 million day, one a month. That's my next goal. That's what it is. Right. And so let's put everything in order so we can make that happen. And I think a lot of times, like you said, people we don't think big enough. We put all these little limits and expectations on ourselves about personal stuff, professional stuff,
it's so true.
Whatever is. We're just like, no, I just want this. Well, why? Like, who says that you have to stop there?
That's so, so important. And I think there's so much I want to say about this, but like, it's so true. I think we do put so many limits on ourselves that stop us from dreaming to that next level. Like I recently was riding my bike and I was just like in the zone listening to music and I claimed my next goal. Right. And it doesn't have to be something you're like writing down every single day. It's just deciding like, what is it? What are you affirming? Like you said, what are you affirming? What are you affirming? You have to affirm it. You have to decide it first.
That's it.
Yeah. That's so powerful. Holy shit.
I'm obsessed with like the brain and how it works. So at night before I go to bed, because a lot of people they either bring me in to talk about business, finances, or like manifestation. That's the three things people always bring me in to talk about. And so I'm obsessed with the brain, and I wanted to be able to prove like scientifically like that manifestation is real, right? And I definitely have all my information and all that stuff now, and that led me down the rabbit hole of understanding how our brains work. And then I wanted to be able to prove it on the spiritual side, because people that grow up in the church, and I'm not trying to be offensive to anyone, I grew up in the church, I was brought up Baptist, the whole shebang, but they think everything is like new age and evil and witchcraft or something. And I'm like, no, like even in the Bible, like it teaches us that we have the ability to speak things into existence. Like even, so even there, but in our brain, I don't think a lot of people realize that you can train your subconscious. You really can't override it. So like by the time you're 7, pretty much your subconscious in the way is going to like interpret things that's already kind of decided, right? And so that's we're all going through life kind of unpacking this childhood trauma or whatever, right? Or issues and all of this stuff, because it's what's making us tick. Well, the thing about our brain is it can't tell really the difference between like realities and pictures and movies and videos. So you can start overriding whatever it was that you believed or whatever you thought. So once you affirm something, you can start the process of training your brain to learn to have different synopsis paths to get to a result. You can do picture and word association and get your brain to have a different interpretation of something, because this is having a physiological response, right? AKA our emotions. And if we're having happier, more joyous emotions is literally going to increase the frequency that every cell in your body is vibrating at, and you're going to attract more good stuff. And so literally you can change the filter inside of your RAS. It's like the size of your pinky. It's like at the base of our brain. It's a little filter. It's your reticular activating system. Some people call it reticular activating processor. But literally you can change the filter of what you want it to see and what you want it to know, and put yourself in a better position to accomplish whatever it is you're trying to accomplish.
And you were about to say something that at night you do something. Do you do something every night?
Yeah. So at night, what I do whenever like I have a new like affirmation, I'm like, okay, this is my new declaration. This is what we're going in. I will literally go through. And if I'm having like at this point, I can just kind of speak it and it starts showing up. But if I want to like kind of shortcut or get it there faster, I will literally go and I will find maybe like 8 to 12 images that I think are a good representation of this. And I write down my words, and it's not a long thing, like 3 or 4 words. Like this represents, AKA, this represents elemental P, this represents AKA. And I literally will go through the book and I'll read my little word association. I'm like, yep, it's done. Boop, next one, yep, it's done. Yep, it's done. And whatever.
Wait, what do you do? Wait, I'm confused. So you write, break that down for me.
Yeah, so I literally take a picture and I'll put it in a binder, and then I'll write like the word, like what does this picture represent to me? Like 3 or 4 words, like this is this.
So like if it give me an example, like if it are you doing like a feeling, or are you doing like this represents $1 million income? Like what is like, you know what I mean?
It could be whatever you want it to be. So for instance, with Corey, I was like, okay, I'm ready to have a relationship, and I know what type of relationship, what type of man I wanted. So I went and I found images that represent like my ideal relationship. And so my first picture was like a man and a woman, and they were like holding hands, and he looked like he cared for a lot. So I said 100% respect, because I knew that was important to me in my relationship. When I was younger, I was like, oh, I want a man to be faithful. I want this, I want that. Well, I started paying attention to men. If they, because men will love you and they could still cheat on you. They could, still do whatever. Yeah. But a guy that respects you and loves you, he's not going to cheat on you. He's going to consistent with you. He's going to tell the truth with you. I watched how men interacted with people that they respected versus, right? Because men's love language really is respect. Women, we work off of adoration. So I said, no, I want a man to respect me. Like I want him to love me, but the respect has to be in there so I can have the, money isn't an issue for me. I got that already. Do I want a man that's financially stable? Of course, right. But I want him to respect me. So it was 100% respect. Then the next picture, I found like an older couple that looked really happy. They seemed to be out with another older couple. And I was like, okay. I was like longevity, fidelity, and faithfulness, so that was that one for me. Then the next one, it was a guy. He looked like he was hanging out with his friends. And I was like, I want a guy that, a leader, like great leadership and decision-making skills. And then like literally that, and I went through with my pictures, and that was that. And I would look at them at night, and I would read my words, and I'm like, yep, it's done. And go to the next one. Yep, it's done. Like creating that association. And I'm not joking. Like 3 days into doing this, Corey shows up. And one of the things I had always prayed is like, God, when I meet my husband, I need him to know me and recognize me quickly. And I need to be able to know him and recognize him quickly. He shows up. He, gets my number and stuff. Well, it was funny. I don't have time to tell you how it was really funny. He gets my number. We go on a date like 2 days later. That first date, he's like, well, when can I see you again? And I'm like going through my calendar. He's like, no, I'm trying to see you tomorrow. And I was like, oh. I was like, I'm going for like a little walk jog down at the bridge. He's like, I'm there. I'm like, you don't know what time. He's like, doesn't matter what time, I'm there. So literally
he showed up.
He showed up, and every day we started seeing each other. And then one day he looks at me like a few weeks in, and he's like, well, we're together, right? And I was like, we are. And he was like, I was like, what do you mean? I'm like we're in a relationship. Like somebody asked me if I have a boyfriend. I'm supposed to say yes. He's like, I'm like, so I'm not supposed to be dating anyone else? He was like, yeah. I was like, you're not dating anyone else? He was like, yes. He was like, what? Like, I had to be clear. I want to be in a situationship. I was like, what are you saying to me? He was like, we together. And I was like, well, can you give me 48 hours? Because I still had, I had to go cancel some other dates. He was like, there.
Were you feeling it?
Yes.
Yeah.
I was, it wasn't butterflies. Like I felt like I was floating like on a cloud, like every time I was around him, like, people like they got swept off their feet. It was the first time I had ever felt that. Like I felt really safe around him. I felt like I've probably known him for a million lifetimes.
Wow.
I feel like to this day, like it's still like we're in a fairy tale. Even my friends and family, they're like, this is insane. You know what I mean? Like, wow. Like in a good way. Like we're just very happy together. When strangers meet us, they're like, oh my God, they're like, you guys are so amazing together. Like we just fit. Like, I don't know how to explain it, but it was like I was on a cloud, and I'm a Taurus. So I'm like super grounded. And I had to tell him, like, when he was talking, I was like, you gotta slow down. You know what I mean? I'm like, you're taking me too fast. I was like, I feel like I'm floating when I'm around you. I was like, I like it, but it's like freaking me out at the same time.
Yes.
Like, let me kind of find my footing. And then a couple of weeks later, I was like, okay. I was like, I'm ready. Like, let's do it. I'm all in. Let's go. Let's just see what happens. And so then the best thing ever.
Wow. I'm so happy for you.
Thank you. But you can do it with anything. You can do it with your job, you can do it with your house, you can do it with finances, you can do it with healing. I'm supposed to be in a wheelchair. I've had 5 surgeries on my spine. I have 13 doctors. They all told me I would never be walking again, and I'm up walking around fine just because I wouldn't accept that was my future.
Wow.
You can do it with anything. It's just you have to have the audacity and be crazy enough to believe.
I freaking adore you. I'm so excited. So how long have you been with him now?
We've been together a little over a year, and we're getting married in November. Yeah.
Oh my God. You're getting married in November?
Yeah, he proposed to me on Christmas Eve because I'm a Christmas freak and I love Christmas. And he was like, he really wanted to make Christmas special for me.
Let
So
me see your ring.
Oh yeah, he did good.
Oh my God. Not everyone can see this, but I'll just let you guys know.
He
It's
did
fucking
great.
beautiful. It's beautiful.
He did
Wait,
great.
what's your wedding date?
11/11.
Oh my God, of course
Those are my
it is.
angel numbers.
Okay, get this. My due date is November 16th. And I'm praying that my child was born on November 11th.
I think it's gonna happen. I'm sure it is. It has
Wow.
to.
Wow, that is so awesome. 11/11/22. Whoa, that is a powerful date.
Yes, I was like, let's do it. So, and my mama, she's like, is it gonna be at 11:11 a.m.? I was like, this too early. I was like, but I was like, if I could get my life together that early, we would have did that. But yeah.
Wow,
So,
that's amazing.
yeah.
I'm so happy for you. So yeah, everyone, just like the power of your mind, of your subconscious, like it is so real. Like you're right. The mind speaks in pictures, images, sounds, like all of that you can input into yourself. And I feel like that's just like you said, it's the action, it's the accountability to show up to that in any area of life, whether it's your business, whether it's what you want to manifest. Like you have to make the time to manifest. Like I'm not going to lie. Sometimes I get lazy in my manifestation process of like,
Yeah.
I used to write my stuff down every single day. I would write my intentions every day. I would write my goals every day. And obviously like they all happened, right? It's like everything's manifested. And sometimes I'm like, well, it's all happening. So like, maybe I don't need to write it down every day, but specificity is so key.
Yeah. But do you think it's being lazy, or do you think that your manifestation muscles have just gotten stronger? And so that's not a tool that you have to use. You know what I'm saying? Like, because when I started, I do like vision boards and stuff, and I don't have to do a vision board anymore. I don't have, like, I literally can just say, this is what I want, and it shows up. You know what I'm saying? So
That's
maybe
true.
it's not lazy. Maybe your manifestation muscles have just gotten so strong. That's not a methodology that you have to use anymore.
That's a really good reframe.
Because you know it's going to show up for you.
Yeah, I love that. That resonates with me for sure. That's a really good reframe. Yeah. It's a muscle.
It is like people, because you don't start off just saying, oh, I want to manifest like $1 million and it shows up.
Like some people do.
Yeah, some people do. Some people do. No, but most people, it's just like when you go to the gym, you don't jump in there and say, hey, I'm going to bench press, 250 pounds. Like you work your way up. You start with like a 5 pound, then a 10, then a 20, you know what I mean? Like you build up your muscle. And I think it's the same thing with manifestation. And the more like little things you can manifest, it builds your confidence, right? And then you can get to larger and larger and larger things. And a lot of times when I'm watching people and they're like, I'm really working hard to manifest this and that. And I'm like, well, what are you doing? And a lot of it, they're not really putting in the work. And then they get discouraged because I don't know, they may be like, I want a new job and to move to Waikiki and I need to do it in 30 days. Well, if you've never manifested anything before, I'm not saying that it's not going to happen, but when it doesn't happen, they're like, oh, I tried and it doesn't work. And I'm like, no, that wasn't even realistic. And you didn't even really believe that was going to happen. You know what I mean? You just said something crazy and put it out there.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Like when we were trying to get pregnant for a couple of years and we went through one round of IVF and it didn't work, right? Like we didn't make an embryo. So it technically failed. And when that happened, it was like, obviously very devastating, but I was just like, God, angels, like I need a miracle. Like, I don't know where to turn right now. Like I need to like get on the right track. Like I need a new plan. And then after that, the craziest manifestation came through and I was connected with a clinic that was offering 5 women free cycle reviews where they were reviewing their previous failed cycles. And I manifested a free IVF cycle. It was like $30,000.
Oh my God. That's amazing.
And so I say that just to your point of like, sometimes you don't have to like write it down or look at it every single day if you have this muscle built up, because you have this like deeper, like I had faith, even though it was like hanging on by a thread at that point, but it was like, I asked for help and then it showed up immediately. So that just like reminded me of what you were saying, like the muscles built.
Yeah. And I think that's important when you like God, angels, ancestors come through here, like,
Yeah.
you know, because I do believe a lot of times our angels, because I talk to my angels all the time, I think that they are waiting to assist us. We have to give them permission, and a lot of us don't give them permission, and they just like probably like, dang man, I can help her out with it like real quick. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly.
Ask.
And it could be like the smallest thing. Like one time my burner wasn't working on my stove and I was trying my hardest to get it to work. And then I was like, Angels, can you help me get this burner working? And then all of a sudden it clicks on and I'm like, thank you. Like, it's just the little moments.
Yeah, so my friends laugh at me because I'm like angel of lost things, like because I'm always misplacing stuff, and then
Yes.
they'll magically show up, and they're like, "It's an angel of lost things." I'm like, I don't know. I'm like, I always like I don't know which angel this is. It could be several of them that are helping me, but if I say angel of lost things, help me find this, it shows up. So I was looking for a pair of shoes. And I looked everywhere for these shoes. I was like, Corey, have you seen these shoes? He's in here helping me look for the shoes. I end up going out to the dinner or whatever. Shoes, not anywhere. Come home. I said, Angel of Lost Things, please help me find my shoes. The next day, the shoes are magically on the shelf in my closet. And I know that there's no way that both of us missed these shoes. And I tell friends, I'm like, Corey, I'm like, did you find my shoes? Did you put them in there? And he's like, no, I never found them. And I'm like, look, they're right there. He was like, holy crap. And I was like, yep.
What? Oh my God. It's so real. It's so real. It's so real.
And I love it. I just wish more people would, you know, be accepting. Yeah. And some people, they just feel like it's so far-fetched. And I'm like, sucks for you because you're down there living in the mud and I'm up here living on a cloud, you know, on a rainbow. Like, you should come up here. It's a lot of fun.
And it's a choice.
Yeah.
It really is. Because you could have the shittiest circumstances and you could still decide to see the blessings, and you could still decide to create something brand new.
Absolutely. You find what you focus on.
Mm-hmm.
And I think especially us here that like live in the States. And yeah, like I'm not saying it's perfect here. It's definitely not, you know what I'm saying? And I'm a Black woman, so I've had my share of ish that's here.
Yep.
But
Yep.
despite all of that, you can still shake out what you want to shake out. And here, we're not necessarily like in a caste system, you know what I'm saying? And you are allowed to be educated. And we're in this weird time, you know, I don't know, it's almost like an information renaissance or something. There's so much information all over the place. You literally can pick and choose what you want to hear, what you want to listen to, you know what I'm saying, what you want to put inside of your soul, and you can create something different if you choose to be focused on your blessings instead of, you know, focus on what's not right or what's not happening for you.
I love that so much. You can choose what you want to put inside your soul. That's so good.
People don't, which we can, right? Like, and it's amazing. And I think if more people just understand, like, you know, there's no rule that says I have to be this way or I have to be in this place. I can do whatever I want to, you know, and I can actively decide what conversations I'm gonna have that day. I can actively decide, you know, what I'm listening to. I can actively decide what I see the first thing when I wake up in the morning. Like, it literally is a choice, especially for, you know, people like us, you know what I mean, that are here in the good old US of A. And, you know, that, like I said, I'm not saying it's perfect here, but, you know, but there's definitely a choice. Like, one of the things I teach my clients, when you go to bed at night and when you wake up in the morning, like, put something in front of you that makes you happy. Like, if it's flowers, or god dang it, go to the store and get you a canvas and paint some flowers or buy you a cheap, you know, floral print. If you know, it's a color that makes you happy, god dang it, paint your wall that you see when you wake up in that color. You know what I'm saying? Like, something that's going to help you have like good energy and good vibes. Your bedroom's really important, right? What's the last thing you're looking at before you go to bed? And what's the first thing you see in the morning? Whatever that wall is that's across from you, make it happy, make it something that brings you some type of joy. Like, and like, those are little things, you know, because people, oh, I don't have the money. You don't have to have a lot of money to do that. A can of paint, like $20, you know, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. It's the little things. I love that so much. Okay. I want to switch gears a little bit to social media and just kind of like I feel like so many people, especially that tune in, they are all about manifestation and they want to somehow monetize their life in some way through social media. So I don't even know where to start with what to ask you, but I don't know. What are your tips?
Okay. So first thing first, to everybody listening, get it out of your head that you have to be popular to make money online. That is the furthest thing from the truth. I see so many people just being obsessed with trying to accumulate these huge masses of followings. No, it is prosperity over popularity, prosperity over popularity, prosperity over popularity. I have so many clients that have in between like 500 and 700 followers, and they're making in between $5,000 and $10,000 a month with their pages. So next thing is always going to be quality, right? We're focused on a specific niche, a specific group of people. There's really only 1 to 3 groups of people that are going to find value in whatever it is that you're offering to the world, right? Whether that is, a taco or you're offering people transformational life information, okay? So we're going to find these 1 to 3 groups, and your niches, they're normally is going to be like a 10 to 15 year age range for them. Not to say you won't have outliers. And there's going to be some type of commonalities with these people, whether it's like education or geographics or morals or mindset, or, they just kind of like psychographically what they're all into. So we're going to find our niches and we are only going to talk to them. I tell people this is where they need to take a lesson from Donald Trump. And I'm not talking about agreeing with if you liked his policy, if you thought he was a good president, if you think he's a jerk or whatever. But one thing that he did really well, he only spoke to his niche. Mm-hmm. He did, even when he was acting president, he did not care what anybody else thought. He talked to his niche constantly. You have to adapt that in social media land. When you try and sell to everyone, you sell to no one. You talk just to your people that are interested, or, they're in the industry, or there's like a common belief, or, or desire, whatever it is bonding them.
Quick question on that. What do you think is like messaging to your niche and creating content for them? Do you think that that is the thing that makes people buy from you or want to invest with you? Like, is that like,
yeah. Okay. And it's only 2 types of content that are going to lead to money out here in these social media streets: is value-based content or relational content. And people are always like, oh my God, just add so much value and blah, blah, blah. They never tell you what value is. Value content, that's definitions, that's terms, that's things like innovations that are happening inside of your industry. And you don't have to be first. You just need to put it there and tell people how it's going to work. Concepts, tutorials, checklists, cheat sheets, giving people like your favorite softwares or tools that you're into, showing them the behind the scenes, your process of setting stuff up. Like that's like stuff like that. That's value. Answering, paying attention when people ask you questions. Write down the questions. Don't forget them. Like, you turn that into content. I tell people all the time, like, there's commas in your questions. Like, if one person got a question, at least 1,000 people got that question, and you can turn it into content. And you know what I mean? Like, that's going to drive like people to you that are interested in that. Case studies are really, really good too. And just kind of keeping up on top of stuff, and summaries, because people hate to read. So you can find any article, you can find any story that's going on, give people the high points of what's happening, give them a link to the article and be like, what do you know what I'm saying? Like, here it is. And here's the assumption. On the other side, with relational content, this is literally all about building a relationship. This is where you're going to do your soft sales. You're going to be trying to build people up on your list, and getting other people that currently fool with you to share with their other friends and family, so you can continue to grow that way. So this is going to be like when you're literally asking people engaging type questions. Like, I don't know, it can be something as simple as, who's already had their second cup of coffee, and it's only 8 a.m. or something like that. This is where you can share like your dog, your family. This is where you're going to show your customer testimonials or their feedback.
This is under what umbrella? This is under Relational. Okay. Got it.
Anything as far as building a relationship. And this is really you guys interacting. So it gives you an opportunity to learn more about your audience. Mm-hmm. You can do a this or that. One has to go. Which one is better? Do you remember when? This is when you're going to be posting selfies and telling the story behind it. Like, you could post a picture. You say, I remember I did yesterday. I put up pictures. I was like, this day last year, I was in the hospital. You know what I'm saying? And I'm so happy that I'm alive and well now. And this is what's going on. Like, a selfie with a story, showing like your location, just trying to find common ground and learn more about your audience. So relational is all about like the engagement, and then your quotes, your thoughts, you know what I'm saying, think pieces and stuff like that. They're all going under relational. It's emotional based. It is building a relationship. Sometimes you can ask a question and just tell your audience, drop your opinion below, or what do you think about this, or vent, just anything that's like literally building up where they get to know and like you, and you're able to get to know and like your audience. That's why people buy. People don't buy what's the best. And I wish that was true, but I know so many people with amazing like products and services and concepts and podcasts, and like no one is there because they're thinking, well, it's the best quality. No, people buy off of know, like, and trust factor. If they know you, they like you, they trust you, and now you can present something to them that they're already interested in. Mm-hmm. That's how people buy. So the value-based content is, really focused on benefits and establishing you as a resource over an expert. I would always tell people, focus on being a resource. Expert culture is going to give you FOMO. Expert culture creates scammers because people are embellishing or pretending like they, have more, right? Because I want to come off as an expert. But if you're a resource, no, it's just like, this is where I'm at. I'm sharing with you how I got here. You know what I mean? As I continue to go on in my journey, I'm going to share some more with you. And if you're into it, like, get it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, literally, like, you want to be a resource. We just want to be there to like provide like information or space. Space is a service. And I don't think people understand that. But if you can create a community, you can create a membership and make money with that. So literally just being focused on value-based and relational content. That is it. And then you want to be consistent with your tone, the language that you're using to your audience, and like the imagery, right? Like, what imagery inspires your audience? What does your audience look like? You want to, what like things represent, right, where they're trying to go or what they're trying to get to. Those are the types of images that you want to focus on using, and what colors resonate with them, right? If like years ago, my audience was pretty much all female. Like we were like 98% women, 2% men. And it's because all my colors were always like pastels and soft pinks and lavenders and stuff like that. I started putting in like bolder colors and stronger. And now my audience is literally like 73% women and it's 27% men, because men know that they're welcome, now. Yep. So paying attention to like the colors, the imageries, the types of fonts you're using. Be very consistent with those things. And of course, you got to show up every day. Like, you have to post every day. Every day you should have at least one post where you're, pushing someone to get your free thing, AKA jump on your list, whatever your lead magnet is going to be. And once a day, you should have some type of soft offer or hard offer about whatever it is that you have. Literally. Now, the other 2 or 3 posts you put up that day, they can be whatever you want them to be. But we always have to be trying to like either build a relation or add some value. Like, that's a daily consistent thing, especially if you're not at a point where you have the budget to be running like Facebook ads and TikTok ads and Google ads and stuff like that. You got to show up with your content. It's your weapon.
So good. Such good nuggets. I'm loving this. I'm loving this. What point would you say, because I get this question a lot, like I know the answer that I give, but I obviously want to hear it from you, is like, what point would you say someone is ready, besides budget wise, like in their business? How do they know if they're ready for Facebook ads or other ads?
So I don't think you should run an ad until you can get like a few sales a week consistently on your own. Because this is the thing, if you have not been able to sell to the small group of people that you have access to, you're going to put basically this it's not that it's trash, but it's trash whenever the product and the market don't correlate. If there's not a product market fit, like it doesn't matter, what it is. Like there's lots of really great products, but they're trying to offer it to the wrong people, right? So we have to make sure that we found the right group of people and that we have the right offer for that group of people, whether it is a physical product, a digital product, whether you have a brick and mortar store that they're coming to, whether it is a service, it does not matter. It has to match the right group of people. And so if you can get to a point where you're having sales coming in consistently every week, at that point, I would say, well, now you can run an ad, because now you're going to be able to say, I know the group of people who are my ideal customers, right, and I know what they want to see. I know what language I need to be speaking to them in, and I know, what to offer them that they're going to gravitate towards. When you're out here and you have, let's say you have 100 followers or something like that. If you can't get any of those 100 people to get on your list, if you can't get, at least 5 to 10 of those 100 people to buy something from you, that means you don't have the right target audience. So now you need to work on trying to grow another 100 people, and let's see if we can get them, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
To buy like what we have going on. So normally I tell people, if you can get a few consistent sales like in a week, and you can do that a few weeks in a row, then I would say, okay, you can run some ads, because you know who your customer is and you know what they like, and you know how they want it. But when people are just out here all willy-nilly and they're just like, well, I got this, and this is gonna sound like I hate, like, people get into these drop shipping courses and they're always in there like, look at all of these, Facebook says there's 200 million people that are interested in cats, and you're going to have an endless supply of customers, and all you got to do is go, to Alibaba and get cat and put them on this Shopify store. You're going to be rich. You're going to, you know what I mean? And people are like, yeah. And then they get out there and they try it and they're like, this is not working. And it's like, yeah, because they were full of crap. You know what I mean? They're always like a Lambo or something, yelling at you.
Yeah, exactly.
Telling you that all these customers, and it's like, no, that's not how this works.
I'm all about the mission too. Like, yes, like making money is great, but also you have to like be passionate about what you do to make more, like to make a lot of money. I think
so too, because I feel like there's going to be, like with everything, there's stuff that we love about it, and then there's stuff that we don't like to do. And that love for it, that passion for it, it's what gets you through. And you're like, I don't like doing this, but I'm going to go ahead and do it. You know what I mean? Because I know that it's necessary for me to get to this next step. And you're going to have days where you're going to get tired. You know what I mean? You're going to have and I'm not going to sit here and lie and say like every day is going to be amazing home run. No, you're going to have some days that are going to be frustrating and challenging. And you have to have that passion so you can get through those days.
So true. It's so true. So much comes up in business. Like you don't even know. You don't even know.
I know how much stuff comes up in business. Like
things that you can't even anticipate, but you're ready for it. Like everything trains you for what's coming next. So you're ready.
Yeah.
Wow. This is so good. So, how is it that you work with people in particularly, like, do you do one-on-one work with consulting? Do you do like, I know you have courses, like what's your vibe?
Yeah. So, I love like being directly like, connected to my audience, which people are always kind of shocked, you know what I mean? Because they think it's going to be like 20 people and then you get to see me. Like, nope. I'm like, oh, I'm here. So I always tell people I have my flagship program is called InstaCoin. That's where we've had all those like 700 something 6-figure earners have come through there. Almost all of them go through InstaCoin Academy with me. And so it's the most economical way to work with me. It's a small group. Every week we have live training sessions, like on as far as like skill sets or like tech corners or just regular Q&A sessions where you can get in there at. We have like, I'm always updating with like modules and trainings. Like I'm putting new Facebook ads in there and TikTok trainings and stuff in there now. So you have all your modules and your homework to help you get the basic skill sets as far as like who you are, building your funnels, like figuring out your customer base. I have some people that come to me and they're like, I know I want a business, but I don't even know what to do. So we like help people figure that out. we do that. And then once a quarter, you get a one-to-one like private meeting, like to kind of help you stay on track. So, and before COVID, it was like 12 weeks, but when the vid hit, I started doing it for a year and giving people the mentorship portion a year for free. So normally you'd have to pay $6,500 for that, but we just do it for free because we're like, we need people to like, I mean, people are getting hammered, you know what I'm saying? And we we needed to like kind of give people some type of lifeline to help them get through. And then
that's so beautiful.
Thank you. And then one-to-one, you can book like a power session or laser session with me. A power session is like a little 20-minute call. It's normally good for like one question or kind of like if you're stuck on something. A laser session is where we actually do strategies. A lot of people use those for like lunch plans with me. And so I do like a 45-minute assessment. Then I tell people to give me like a week or two. I put together like what their lunch plan needs to be, like even what pages they need to promote and advertise on. And then we spend about an hour going through that, 45 minutes to an hour. Sometimes it's longer than that, depending on kind of like where the skill set is of my client. And then my high figure, like 7-8 figure earners, they normally all work with me in continuous coins. And so that's one-to-one. We work together for 12 months. And those rates start at 150,000 and go up. So all those clients are paying somewhere in between 150, 225 to work with me, which is why I tell people coming to Instacoin, because the price point is way more economical. It's like $5,500 to get access to me for a year versus paying like almost $250,000 to work with me, one-to-one. And so those clients do everything from teaching people how to trade stocks to, making feminine care products to lawn care services. I don't know. My clients do everything inside of that
Wow,
program.
that's amazing.
Coaches and transformational healers, real estate developers, just they do all sorts of types of stuff. Insurance policies, just all kinds of stuff.
Do you work with coaches as well?
Yeah, I love working with coaches. I feel like I have a special heart for coaches because especially coaches that really love people because like one, there's not enough of coaches that really are in it for like the people, right? It's an unregulated industry. So you get a lot of people coming in for a money grab.
Yeah.
And number two, there's so many people that need help in different aspects. And, someone that can like relate to you may not be able to relate to me. You may have a different teaching style or way that you can communicate with a whole nother sector, you know what I'm saying, of women versus the one that I can. And so I feel like it's really important to try and cultivate as many like strong coaches as possible and help put the coach in a position where they're able to keep helping people, but they don't get burnt out. And so a lot of coaches that have big hearts and that are really in it for the people, they always get burnt out. You know what I mean?
That was so my story. I was so burnt out and then I had to figure out how to scale.
Yeah, they always get burnt out. So I love being able to help coaches like put the systems together if they're missing opportunities for different products, how to really identify like what those individual niches inside of their audience already need and better service them. And then really for a lot of coaches, they also need like a lot of coaches need some other type of passive income stream that's coming in. So helping them develop that so that way they really have a diverse portfolio. So it's like, okay, I can coach and do this, but if the crap hits the fan, or if I get tired, or if I'm sick, or, anything can happen in life, I'm fine because I still have so much income coming in on this side. I literally don't even have to be stressed at this point. I'm just coaching because I love to be here for, my community and my people. That's the position you want to be in as a coach. Not, I have to take on these next 4 clients or I'm not going to be able to pay my mortgage. You know what I mean? Totally. It takes the fun out of it. And then you get to a point you're not really doing a good job of working with the people you're called to work with. Now you're just picking up anybody because you got bills to pay.
So true. So true. I love hearing about your business model just because, and I ask that for everyone to know, but also just to show that like having there's so many ways to build your business. And I love that you have the passive products. I love that you're involved with your clients. I love that you have all these different tiers that people can work with you at, which I think is so beautiful. And, having a product suite, right, that leads into other higher ticket, offerings. It's really awesome. I love that.
Yeah, you got to, because everybody And there are going to be people that disagree with me. Like there are other people, they're like, no, you put the highest price on it, you know, you charge whatever, and you only work with those luxury clients. But I'm like, for me, and this is me working in my calling, there's always going to be people that they're amazingly talented. They're super gifted. They just need, you know, a shot. They just need the direction. It's like if I give everybody in here a recipe to make a chocolate cake, guaranteed everybody's going to come out with a cake that's pretty okay tasting. You know, some people's cakes are going to be spectacular. Some people's cakes are a little okay, but all those cakes are going to be edible. And so if you can help people, if you can give them the recipe, like, why not? You know, and you have to figure out like, okay, I can't work one-to-one with somebody that can only afford like a $27 product, but I can give them this $27 product. I can put 3 or 4 hours of training in here. I can help them, you know, get to the next step so that they can make the money they need to, and give them things that are going to be affordable for them. And I have lots of other coaches, they get on me, they're like, what? They're like, you should be charging this much for it. I'm like, yeah, I know, but the market of people that I'm called to help, they don't have that resource, you know. Right. So I'm going to put this here, and I'm going to put it in a spot, you know, where they can reach it, they can get it, and they can access it and do something with it. And I literally have clients that have started with me with $7 products, and they literally now are in programs with me, and they can pay a $200,000 fee to work with me. One of them, she is really amazing. She makes all feminine products, everything for like your reproductive system and stuff like that. And these are all like her brainchild, her own formulas. You know, we had to go and get them all like patented and all that kind of stuff. But literally when she started working with me, she was like making stuff out of her kitchen. She didn't really have a lot of customers. And she sent me, I started crying. She did too, but she sent me her screenshot. And she literally, like, she was like, when I first met you, only had $15 in my account, and you had $1 sale for a product. And that's the first product that I bought from you. And she was like, and I used it and I made $2,000. And then I came back and bought a $197 product from you. And I used that and I made $10,000. And then I came back, you know, and I booked a session with you. And she's like, and I used everything you gave me in the session, and I made $200,000 that year. And I came back and I got in your Instacoin Academy. And then like, she just like kept like working up, and now we work together 1-to-1. She's doing 6 figures a month now. And I'm going to get her to a 7-figure month. Like, I know it, like I feel it. That's going to happen soon for her. My goal is to have that happen for her about Black Friday. And like literally people, I think sometimes people are so focused on like one particular group, and you know, everybody has whatever business model, but there are other people, they love your work, they like your stuff. They may not have the ability to work with you 1-to-1, but there's nothing wrong with like creating an ebook, you know what I mean? Or creating some modules or some type of trainings that are at a lower price point, so it's accessible for them.
Absolutely. What an inspiring story. That's so awesome. I'm excited for your client.
She's amazing, but like, you know, because people say, they're like, you're selling stuff for $1. Yeah, I had a $1 sale today and I don't care. You know what I'm saying? The people that needed it, they got it. You know what I mean? And we'll have a $1 sale and I make like $25,000 in a day from a $1 sale. Like, you know what I'm saying?
No
like,
big deal. No big deal.
I think people are so... I think people are so like sometimes like wired in to the old traditional ways to do business that they don't realize that there's like more than one way to get to 10. You know what I'm saying? Like,
exactly.
You know what I'm saying? 7 + 3 is 10, 2 × 5 is 10. There are all these different combinations that are going to get you to 10. Nobody says that we have to stick to the way that people were doing it. You know what I'm saying? In 1979.
And you're the boss. You get to make up the rules.
Yeah. Yes. Is that simple? So if you can figure out some other way to make it work, God dang it, go do it.
Do it. Oh, this is so good. I could talk to you forever. Like, this is such a good conversation, such good vibes. And I mean, we're the Ashleys, so obviously Ashley's got it going on. Wow. Okay. Where can everyone connect with you and find you and all the things?
King Ashley Ann. I'm King Ashley Ann on all social media platforms. So I pretty much hang out on Instagram and TikTok the most. I'm getting back into my YouTube. I
got to find you on TikTok.
All right, but yeah, I just started TikTok and like taking it seriously a few months ago. So I'm over there doing my Thug Thistle over there now. It's a lot of fun. And then for everyone that's listening, I do a training on Sundays. I try and do it at least once a month for free. It normally costs $2,500, but I'm doing it for free right now. So y'all go to planwithashley.com, and I will make sure to get Ashley the link for the show notes. But go to planwithashley.com. You will be able to see the next upcoming training. Put in your name and email so you can register. We'll send you an email. If you sign up for a text alert, we'll shoot you a text to remind you. We do them on Zoom. And like literally, this is a very intense training. It's like 3 to 5 hours long. This is not some fluffy BS like pitch to come and buy my book. It's not that. It's literally we get in there and we train on what you need, the tools, the softwares, how you put them together to start making money with your social media accounts.
Let's go. I want to come.
Come, girl. It's fun.
Yeah. Yeah. Cool. This is awesome. Okay. I have to ask you one more thing because I ask everyone this. What makes Ashley Ann a badass manifester?
The fact that I say I can do it. That's it.
That's it.
Bad chicks do what they want. Yeah. That's what they told.
Yes. This is so good.
I want to do it. So that's it. That's it.
That's that. It's done. It already is. It already is. All right, everyone. I hope that you love this episode as much as we had a great time, and definitely tag us. Let us know what your favorite part was. Message Ashley, get on her socials. Like, seriously, you're going to want to be part of her world. And I thank you. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me and for making this like easy conversation. It's so much fun. You're so sweet.
Thank you. You too. Okay. Bye, everyone. Woo! We did some work today. Thank you so much for listening. You know I love my BAM fam. If this episode resonated with you, please share it with someone who you know would love it too, because we live for the ripple effect over here. And how can you best support the show? Make sure you're subscribed, hit the 5 stars, and leave a review on iTunes, and let me know how the podcast has impacted you. I love being part of your real-time journey, so screenshot the episode and tag me and my guests on Instagram at ManifestWithAsh. Now say it with me. I am my own power source. I am the master of my own energy, and I deserve everything that I desire. We don't just talk about it over here, we be about it. Now go get 'em.